Cameraman 1.
2, 3, 4, 5,
6,
7.
Dance has always been a big part of my life. I've been a contemporary dancer now for the past 5 years. I love and appreciate all types of cultural dances, including my own. So I thought, how fun would it be to research a different country's dance culture? After many hours of research, I found that the Chinese dance culture was the most fascinating. Throughout this speech, we will learn about the origins of Chinese cultural dance, the 2 dance styles that they perform, and we're going to learn about the costumes they wear during the performance. The origins of Chinese cultural dance traces back before the appearance of the first written Chinese character. In this slide right here, if you can see, we have the Chinese dance symbol, also known as a character. This is the Chinese dance symbol. A study of ceramic artifacts with depictions of Chinese dancing figures reveals that the origins of Chinese dance culture dates back to around 4th millennium BC. In this picture we have the ancient Chinese artifact, and this artifact is portraying what is known as the classical Chinese dance style. The Chinese dance culture grew during the reign of the Han Dynasty. However, the cultural dance really flourished during the reign of the Tang Dynasty. The Tang Dynasty founded the country's 3 most renowned dance academies. The dance academies include the Pear Garden Academy, the Imperial Academy, and the Tai Ching Temple. The Chinese dance culture also grew from religious rituals, which is very different from how many other dance cultures start. Here we have a slide of the religious classical dance. If you can see, she's very elegant and she makes sure to cover up any kind of skin. The Chinese dance culture has survived through theater and through martial arts. Something that most people do not know is that martial art movements originated through Chinese cultural dance. Here we have a comparison of the martial art movement and a dance movement. Here he is doing an extension kick in karate, and here she is doing a full point extension kick, and you see they're similar in many ways. I found this information at www.thinkquest.com. The 2 different types of dance styles that are in the Chinese dance culture are classical and folk. They're very, very drastic and very different from each other. The classical Chinese dance is more elegant, it's expressive, and they have more flowing movements. That's what's different between the 2. Chinese classical dance would compare to our Western ballet. Also, the Chinese classical dances are done mostly in solos. I'm sure you're wondering, why are they done in solos? They're done in solos because most classical performances are for religious ritual purposes. Here I have a picture of an example of a classical dance. As you can see, all the emphasis is on the arms and the hands and the movements of the fingers. That's a big difference between classical and folk. Folk dance, the Chinese dance is traditional, and it's based on folk stories from the Chinese past. Also, folk dances are for, it's expressions of their activities of their daily lives, basically. A few folk dances are for religious reasons, but mostly they're just strictly for entertainment purposes. The next thing about them is that they're very energetic and that they're done in their groups. Most of these are not done in solos because, being in groups, you pump yourselves up and you get more energetic that way. I found this information at www.gracehan.us/dance. Right here, I have an example of a group folk dance that they're performing. As you can see, the emphasis is not on the hands and the arms and the fingers, but yet it's more on the body and on the legs. Each dance style has its own costume. The folk dance has a folk dance costume, and the classical dance has a classical dance costume. The classical dance costume are flowing gowns that are elegant colors, or what we would consider earth tone colors. The gowns have very long sleeves that extend past the hands, which help emphasize swan-like movements when they dance. The folk dance costumes are very different. The costumes are bold, flashy, and they're very colorful. They're very bright. The costumes for folk dances are used to help better tell the story through the dance, basically. I found this information at www.sunnync.org. Right here we have a slide of the differences between the costumes. Here you see the classical dance costume is flowing. It has the long sleeves and it's earth tone colors. Here it's tight fitting. This is for the folk dance. It's very tight fitting, it's very flashy and colorful, and skin showing. If a costume is showing skin, you know it's not for religious purposes, because when they're doing a religious ritual, any kind of skin that's shown to the audience is completely forbidden. So, in conclusion, we have learned the origins of Chinese cultural dance, we have learned the two different dance styles of the culture, and we have learned the costumes they wear during the performance. All this experience has really taught you a little bit about the Chinese culture that I love so much. Are there any questions?
Yes.
Okay.
Do men and children participate in the Chinese cultural dance?
Yes, I know I showed a lot of women in the pictures. It was just easier, to really find. But men and children do participate in the cultural dances, mostly folk dances. If it's a classical dance, it would be more, they'd have more training behind if they were going to do a performance like that, because it's a little bit more, more, that's what something that an adult would do. So a child would not participate in a classical dance, but yes, they do.
How would you distinguish the dance style from a performance?
How would you distinguish the dance style from a performance? A good emphasis would be looking at the costumes. If the costumes are flowing, then most likely it's going to be a classical dance. If you notice that the dance is very energetic and loud, obviously that's not going to be for religious purposes, because when it's a religious classical dance, they want to make it between them and their gods. So no, that's how you would distinguish basically the two. Look at the costumes.
How important are the costumes?
The costumes are very important. I know for folk dance, the costumes are very important, because say the performance was about growing corn in the fields. If they wore just a plain black and white outfit and they danced around, it would be very hard for you to understand what the performance was about. So instead of wearing a black and white costume, say they wore a yellow costume with weird headgear, you would understand a little bit more that performance was about growing corn. You see what I'm saying? Alright, are there any more questions?
No.
Alright, thank you guys.